I am so excited to play with this new toy that it's like 8 o'clock at night. Let's start a video. So we are going to make today a super easy quilted zipper bag. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kaedy and I'm a garment seamstress. And I think the reason I've stayed away from quilting in the past is because I worry about getting the corners perfect. And I'm not really super great at cutting the same size shape again and again. That's what I love so much about these charm packs right here. No, they're mini charms, sorry. We're calling them Moda Candies, and they're adorable. And when you pair them with this stuff, it's a fusible interfacing, they become something really special. So first of all, huge shout out to my mini iron, given to me by Stacy, one of my very first YouTube supporters. So what we have here is this fusible interfacing grid with the little squares on it that just so happen to match the little squares that come in these charm packs. So what we're gonna do to start off is just place them right on the squares, any pattern you want. I'm starting to see that this could take a hot minute. So you know what? I'll get back with you guys. I'm gonna have to move this to fit more on my little mini press, but we are going to first secure these in place. And we're gonna do that with just some steam and heat. Whenever you're using an iron-on glue activated interfacing, the steam is what makes it really release and stick. It activates the glue. I'm trying not to get my iron onto the edges because I know that that is where my interfacing glue will stick to my iron. But I figure if I just get these solid enough to flip it over, I can iron the back more easily. Moment of truth. Yes. All right. I'm gonna finish up this part over here. You guys don't need to hang around. I'll meet you when it's done. So now I've got my grid. I went with 5 by 6, and I could have done another row, but I want to keep that second row for demos in the store. I want to show people what this looks like in phases. So I'm going to stop here. Now with it all on one sheet, we're just going to pinch this seam back here and sew or 1/4 inch. Now, in honor of this being a quilting project, I am going to do that on the Epic 97Q with the IDF enabled quilting foot. So there's my 1/4 inch, and away we go. Just lining up the edge with the 1/4 inch foot, turning my fix on. And honestly, I don't even really need to pin this. It just folds on the fold super easily. So when you open it, you have that perfect straight line seam allowance. So let's get to work. That was super fun. And this is a great machine for the job, but y'all know me. So for this next part, I could measure this and then measure this, and or I could just, because I think for my zippers, I'd like to make little tabs at the start and the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is put right sides together and sew my long sides. Trying something a little different with the zipper this time. So I sewed up the sides, pressed, turned, well, turned and then pressed, and it's adorable. And I made some tabs. Just took that strip, folded it in towards center, and ironed. I decided to use some more of the lining fabric to make kind of a bias binding to run along the zipper. I wanted the pop of color, but I also wanted the edges to be nice and clean, so this was an easy way to achieve that. When I did put it on the sewing machine, I chose a reinforced straight stitch. It goes back and forth and makes a more puffy, distinguished stitch in a fun, bright purple color. In typical crafting fashion, the longer I go with this project, the messier it becomes. I've decided to make one of these a tab. So I'm going to sew along this edge and pin it to the outside. So that when I turn it like this, so when I turn it, it's something to grab it or clip it onto something to make the little stopper block at the end of my zipper. So all my right sides together, I'm going to make my zipper sandwich and just clip. And it looks like we have a little extra down here. I'm going to sew right along this edge and I'll be right back. So what we have now, when we flip it up, is a little pop of color with the top stitch. These edges are going to be covered up. So now is a good time to put our zipper back on. Now this is my first time using the zipper jig. I've got it on like this. Hopefully I'm doing it correctly. So this is where things derailed. I did kind of have it on right, but it just wouldn't go on. It kept wiggling and falling out of place. Even my friend who's used one of these before was struggling with it. I think these are just a weird size zipper pull, but I found the secret. And the secret is tape. Use a little bit of tape to secure that zipper pull, and it goes on no problem first try. So if you're struggling with the zipper majig, I understand. All right, so now that the zipper is on, I'm just gonna flip up these tabs like this and then bring my bag even with the top of the zipper. And of course, we can clip or pin all of this again. Again, I wanna make my zipper in the middle. I'm actually gonna keep it zipped, keep it nice and even. We'll just push this through afterwards. Would have been even easier if I'd left some extra zipper tape out there. Live and learn. So this is what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. And we're gonna sew. So now we've got both sides of our zipper sewn in. And all I have to do is gently push, push, push this back through for a perfect close. And you know what? I love pops of color. So I'm gonna top stitch again just for fun. I want to top stitch on this zipper, and with the bag already closed like this, it could be kind of difficult to do. So I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to cheat, or as one of my customers says, appropriately use my tools. And I'm going to pick my utility stitches, 4-way stitches. On some of the other machine models, they might be under directional stitches or under a different menu, but most of our Husqvarnas do have this feature. And once I have it set up, it allows me to stitch in a different direction every time I hit reverse. So right now, it's going to stitch to the right, which is perfect because when I slip my bag all the way on and squish it flat, let's see how I want it lined up. It'll start stitching directly to the right. So I get this beautiful little pop-up color top stitch without having to squish my bag at all. I like this for sewing on patches or getting into tight areas. There's a lot of ways you can use this. So 2 clicks and it's just gonna sew me back out. So there you have it, an entirely pointless and silly extra step that I did entirely for my own amusement. And really, if you aren't doing silly things for your own amusement, why are you even sewing? We're in the home stretch. I turned it inside out and trimmed my threads. Everything looks nice and fairly finished because of the lining edge we did in the first step. I'm gonna cut off the end of the zipper, make it easier for me to sew, and grab my little loop that I forgot to top stitch. Hold on. Yes, much better. Very practical. So we're gonna fold this, make sure my kitty cats are facing up, and I'm just gonna tuck it inside like this, right up against the top of my zipper. Throw some more clips in it, just sew up the sides. Sewed up the sides, we're gonna flip it, and here it is. It's cute, it's got a little tab, zipper can't run off the edge, and it's nicely lined on the inside because we turned those corners. However, I would like it to sit up on my counter a little bit. So I'm going to turn it and sew across this corner. And there you have it. Little charm pack bag. Sits up on its own. Clean seams inside and out. At times, was it needlessly complicated? Yes, absolutely it was. And here's the most important part, I had a lot of fun doing it. So if you're looking for a project to use with these beautiful charm packs, there's so many adorable designs. Maybe try a little zipper pouch or show me in the comments what you've made with them before. This is my first time working with charm packs and the backing paper, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks for sticking with us. And as always, let me see what you're making.